Hi students, welcome back to the video lecture of Python programming. So we had already discussed the first two programming tools, those are algorithm and flowchart. So today's class we are going to discuss the third programming tool, that is pseudocode. So what is pseudocode? The pseudocode means it's a false code. So why we need this false code? Take an example. Suppose I will give some program to you. So before writing the program, you have to develop the logic first. So that's why before writing the program into a fair copy, you have to have some raw work. So that raw work is the pseudocode. So pseudocode means raw documentation. So in case of algorithm, we have to follow some rules, like the algorithm should be unambiguous, the algorithm should be precise, there should be finite set of statements. But in case of pseudocode, we don't need to follow those steps and we don't need to follow some programming syntax also. So what we need? We have to write what actually each and every line of the program should be done. So that is the pseudocode. So before going to write the program by following some syntax and by following some programming language, we have to write the logic first. So actually by using the pseudocode, that will improve our readability, and that is actually a bridge between algorithm and the programming. So for the programming, we are following some syntax, but in case of pseudocode, we are not following any syntax or we are not following any programming language. We are just following our language. A natural language can be used in the pseudocode. So that will improve our code construction phase. Suppose I am going to write a program directly. I don't have the logic. So while writing the program, I will develop my logic. But I am going to write the raw work. That means I am going for having some raw work. So what is actually that? That means I am going to develop my logic first. So by looking at the logic or the raw work, I am going to implement my program by using some programming language. So let's have some pseudocode. That means how we can represent algorithm in terms of pseudocode. Suppose our first question is to add two numbers. So for the pseudocode for adding two numbers, simply we have to write input for A and B. Then in the next step, we have to write compute C equals to A plus B and print the summation value equals to C. So this looks like a programming, but here we are not following any syntax. Simply in our language, we are representing the algorithm. But in case of algorithm, there are some words like input, the set, but and the steps. The first step should be start, the last step should be step. But here we don't have to write all those things. And also in the pseudocode, we need to follow the indentation. What we have already seen in the if-else and the looping structure, we have some indentation and we need to follow the indentation. So in the pseudocode also we can follow the indentation. Suppose the second question is to find out the greatest number among two numbers. So for that, finding the greatest number among two numbers, the first line is input for A and B, where we can ask the user to give some input for A and B. Then we have a if condition. So if A greater than B, then we have to follow the indentation. Here we can skip some space, then we can write here print A is greater. Next, for the else part, also we have to come to the first. So else, again we have to follow the indentation, print B is greater. See, here we don't need to write that in case of algorithm. Suppose we have to represent this in case of algorithm. So this is the step 2. Step 1 should be start. Then in the step 3, what actually we wrote? We wrote that if A greater than B, then we have to go to step 4, else we have to go to step 5. But here we have to follow the indentation. That means we have to skip this. Maybe it's a tab. Again we have to skip the space. So this print A is greater belongs to the if condition. If it is true, then it will follow this print A is greater. And if it is false, then we have to go here. We have to go to the else part. And in the else also we have some indentation, that is print B is greater. This is quite similar with the programming, but it is not the programming. Neither the pseudocode is an algorithm nor the pseudocode is the programming. So pseudocode is the bridge in between the algorithm and the programming. The third question is, suppose we have to find the greatest number among three numbers. So here we have to take input for three variables. So input for A, B and C. Next we have to compare A with B. So here is the outer if where we can check A is greater than B. If it is true, suppose A is greater than B. So which variable is left? C is left. So we have to now check A with C. We have the condition A greater than B. If it is true, then we will go here. This is the indentation. If it is true, that means which one is greater? A is greater. But another variable is left, that is C. So we can say by checking A greater than B, that is true, we cannot say that A is greatest because C was left here. So we have to compare A with C now. So now here will be the indentation start. We have to check again A greater than C. So what is that? A greater than B true, A greater than C true. Then which one is greatest? Obvious A is greatest. Again we have to follow the indentation. Here we can write print A is greatest. Else we have to come here. We have to change the indentation and we have to come here. So if it is false, A is not greater than C, then we have to come here. So what actually that? In this case, A is greater than B and A is less than C. A is greater than B, so A is the greatest among A and B. A and C, among A and C, C is greatest. Obvious, C is the greatest one. So in the else part, we have to print C is greatest. Next, we have to come here. This is the if plug, outer if, and this if and else belongs to this if. So here is the else part. Which else? Outer if's else. So now in the else part, when we will come to this else part, when this condition will be false. So once this condition will be false, that means B is greatest. Among A and B, B is greatest. C, the variable C was left. So we have to compare the B with C. So in the else part, again the nested if will be start, and here we have to compare B with C. If B is greater than C, here the B is greatest. That's why we have come to the else part. Now the B is greatest, and here also B is greater than C. If it is true, then obvious B is greatest. So here we have to print B is greatest. And else, which one will be the greatest? Here A greater than B false, that means B is greatest. B greater than C false, that means C is greatest. So here we can write print C is greatest. So this follows the inner if indentation, and this is also follow. This is the indentation, and here is the indentation, here is the indentation, and this one. So this else belongs to the outer if, this else belongs to the inner if, and this else belongs to the inner if. So this is the nested if else. We can write this type of nested if else by following some indentation method. So let's write an algorithm and also a pseudocode for a program. Suppose the question is to print the multiplication table of 5 of any given number. So let's write the algorithm and the pseudocode and let's see what is the difference between the algorithm and the pseudocode. So suppose first we have to write the algorithm. So the step 1 should be start. So step 2 is what? Step 2 is to take an input. So we can write here input for n. So what is the n here? N will be given by the user, and for the n we have to print the multiplication table. Then in the step 3 we have to initialize a counter variable. So set I equals to 1. In the step 4 we have to start our loop. So that is, if I is less than equals to n, if it is true, then go to step 5, else go to the last step that we will mention later. Then in the step 5 we have to print the multiplication table. That means I into n, then I will be incremented, then that means what? 1 into 10, then 2 into n, 3 into n, like that up to 10 into n. So 1, 2, 3 up to 10 we have taken the variable that is I. So basically we need to display the I into n. So here we can write print I into n and I equals to I plus 1. 1 into n will be get printed, then I value will be get modified, I value will be incremented, I value will be 2, then we will go and check again the condition, 2 is less than equals to n or not, then we have to print the multiplication table 2 into n, then 3 into n up to 10 into n. So here we can go to step 4. Then step 6 is stop. So here is the step 6. So let's run this. Suppose the value for n is 4. So I equals to what? 1. 1 less than equals to 10, true. Then we will go here. What will be printed? 1 into 4. Then I will be get modified. I will be 2. 2 less than equals to 10, true. Then 2 into n, 2 into 4. Then 3 into 4, then 4 into 4 up to 10 into 4. This will be get printed. So this is what actually, this is the multiplication table of 4. So let's write the pseudocode for this same program. So for the pseudocode, what actually we are writing, simply we can write input for n. Then here is the for loop for I equals to 1, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus, we are printing what? We are printing the multiplication table, that is I multiplied with n. Simply. This is finished. So this is the pseudocode and actually we can run it. Suppose n is 4. I equals to what? 1. 1 less than equals to 10, true. Then we will go for printing 1 into 4. Then I value will be get incremented. I will be 2. 2 less than equals to 10. Then 2 into 4. Then I value will be incremented. That will be 3. 3 less than equals to 10. True. Then here 3 into 4. Then 4 into 4 up to 10 into 4. And once it will be 10 into 4, then I value will be get incremented and I value will be 11. 11 less than equals to 10. That is false. Then we will stop here. So when we stop here, we have already printed the multiplication table for 4. So this is the difference you can see here, the difference between the algorithm and the pseudocode. So for the algorithm, we have 6 steps. from the step 1 to step 6 and we have to write something more. But for the pseudocode, we have simply 3 to 4 lines and our whatever the problem is, that is solved by the pseudocode. So whenever we are going to implement the program, so by looking at the algorithm or by looking at the pseudocode, which will be the easier? Obvious, the pseudocode will be easier. So pseudocode means it is actually a false code. We cannot run it because we are not following the syntax here, the complete syntax here. So this is the raw form. So whenever we have to implement this, we have to open our notepad or any editor. Then we have to open the ideally. We have to write this in this manner, but by following something like if the sentence should be ended with semicolon and like that. Then we have to save that page by giving the extension name, that is .py, then it will run. But only writing this, it will not run. So this is the pseudocode, actually the false code. Okay, the next question is, suppose a pyramid. We have to print this pyramid. So what is the logic behind this? So for this, we have to take a 2D matrix, that is having some column and having some row. So the position of the row and column, so let me draw it in a precise manner. Suppose this one. So here is the which row and which column, that is 0, 0. 0th row and 0th column. Or you can start the row and column from 1. Okay, suppose here is the 1, 1. The first row and the first column. So here is the second row and the first column. Here is the second row and the second column. Here is the third row first column, third row second column, third row third column. If we will have some more star, then here is the fourth row first column, fourth row second column, fourth row third column, fourth row fourth column. So what is the logic? Here, when the row number is 1, we have to print 1 star. When the row number is 2, we have to print 2 star. When the row number is 3, we have to print the 3 star. And when the row number is 4, we have to print 4 star, 4 number of star. And again, what is about the column? When the row is 1, the column is 1. When the row is 2, the column ranges from 1 to 2. Suppose I am taking I for row and J for column. So this is the row and this is the column. So when I equals to 1, J equals to also 1. When I equals to 2, here is the 2 and here is also 2. And the J value is 1 and 2. 1 to 2. When I value is 3, J value is 1 to 3. When I value is 4, J value is 1 to 4. So that means J ranges from 1 to I. Here is the 1, 1 to I, that means 1 to 1, that is 1. Here is the 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Here is the 3, 1 to I, 1 to 3. Here is the 4, 1 to 4. So this is the logic. So let's write the pseudocode for this. So first we have to take input for row and column. These are the two variables. Here is how many rows are there? 4, and how many columns? 4. So this is 4 and this is 4. Next we have to take two loops. Outer loop is for counting the row and inner loop is for the column. So for I equals to 1, I less than equals to 4, I plus plus. Sorry, here is the variable is row. So actually I ranges from what? 1 to 4. So 4 is given by the user, that is will be stored by the variable that is row. So I equals to 1, I less than equals to row, I plus plus. Here we have to follow the indentation. Next indentation will be start from here. The inner loop will be start from here. So for j equals to what? J will be 1 and j will continue up to which? That is for I. So here is the condition, j will less than equals to I and j plus plus. Then again we need to follow the indentation. Then we have to print the star. Then for the outer loop we have to, here we have to follow the indentation and here we need to write the slash n, that means the line break. Then this will be complete. So let's see how it will be run. Suppose the row and column value is 3. Here is the 3 and here is the 3. Now what is the I value? I is 1. I less than equals to 3, true. Then we will go here. J equals to what? J equals to 1. J less than equals to 1. 1 is less than equals to 1, true. Then we need to print a star. So here is the star. Then j will incremented, j will be 2 and the condition false. 2 is less than equals to 1. Condition will be false. If the inner loop will be false, then we will go to the here, that means inside the outer loop. So here we need to print a line break. So the next will be start from here. Then the I value incremented, I value will be 2. 2 is less than equals to 3, true. Then here j equals to what? Again 1. J will be initialized with 1. 1 less than equals to 2, true. Then we will print a star here. Then j value will incremented, j will be 2. 2 less than equals to 2, true. Then again another star will get printed. Then the j value will modified and 3, then the condition false. So once it is false, then we will go here. Then we will start from the next line. Then I value incremented, I value will be 3. 3 less than equals to 3, true. Then here j will again initialized with 1. 1 less than equals to 3, true. Then a star will be get printed here. Then j value will modified, that will be 2. 2 less than 3, true. Again another star will get printed. Then j value will modified, then it will be 3. 3 less than equals to 3, true. Another star will get printed here. Then j value will be 4. 4 less than equals to 3, condition false. Then we will go here. We will come to the next line. I value will get modified, that will be 4. 4 less than equals to 3, the condition false. So when this condition false, we will go to here. Now this pyramid it is complete. You can take a bigger number for the row and column and you just check either this pseudocode is working for actually printing this pyramid or not. So in our next class we will go for more nested for loop or any while loop and functions also. So thank you. Have a great day.